Now, viewers, a week after the tragic Air India plane crash in Gujarat's Ahmedabad, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has released the new draft rules titled as Aircraft Demolition of Obstruction Rules 2025 to tighten the control over the structures that pose a risk to aircraft safety. The rules aim to give authorities the power to take the prompt action against buildings and trees that exceed the height limits in designated aerodrome zones. This is also seen as a proactive step to prevent potential accidents caused by the obstructions in flight paths. Under the new regulations, the officer in charge of the aerodrome has reason to believe that a building or a tree exceeds allowed height limits. They are authorized to issue a formal notice to the owner, citing the relevant government notification under the Section 18 of the Act. Owners must respond within 60 days of the detailed information, including the structure, dimensions, and site plans. Failure to comply may lead to enforcement measures such as height reduction or demolition. The Civil Aviation Ministry has invited objections or suggestions from the public within the 20 days of the draft's notification. Responses are to be submitted to the Director General of the Civil Aviation for review. Now, viewers, in fact, at this point of time, let's also take a look at these rules, which we can see in the notification on your screens, as the rules under the notification completely give out a detail of the amended rules in the Gazette of India notification. While it is also expected by the DGCA for the public to give their response to such a notification that has come. Now, viewers, it is very important to understand that these rules are in a manner going to ensure that a proactive measures come into force after the tragic air crash. Now, let me also read out some of the points which are very important in the Gazette notification. As the Ministry of Civil Aviation has issued the Aircraft Demolition of Obstructions Caused by Building and Trees rules, and this is going to come into force on the date of their publication in the official Gazette. All right, viewers. Now, if you can see in the notification that is there on your screens, the details have been the pointers in the Gazette mention that the details furnished by the owner of the building or the tree, as the case may be, will be forwarded by the officer in charge of the aerodrome to the DGCA. All right, viewers, now joining me live on the broadcast is my guest, Mr. Surjit Panesar, who is a renowned civil aviation expert. Sir, appreciate you joining me on the telecast, and of course, we are trying to still cope up with the damage that has been witnessed after the ill-fated Air India flight claimed the lives of over 270 people, and there were unfortunate incidents and scenes that were witnessed. And this is what has come just now under the act of the Civil Aviation Ministry, notification for the amendment of the rules. My first question to you would be, in this draft, which is titled as the Aircraft Demolition of Obstructions Rule 2025 that was issued yesterday, it is going to come into the force after the official publication of the Gazette. How do you react at this step? Do you consider it being thought of and being implemented later after the entire scenario has exploded and put the spotlight on the violation of the safety concerns of the aviation industry?
Well, ma'am, let me tell you, after this tragic crash at Ahmedabad, all pilots flying Dreamliner today with a minor snag, they don't want to take any snag. Minor snag, they are diverting to nearest alternate field and want to land safely so that nothing happens. They are very getting panicky and scared now. Let me tell you, I have requested our Honorable Secretary of Civil Aviation to have a personal hearing to apprise them of something, but he says, what they know you, because they are very high level committees formed and they don't want any outsider to come. I say, why not judicial inquiry? where the whole thing will be exposed to the public, like DFDR, cockpit voice recorder. But in a closed door investigation, they will not permit us to see any document. So and he said, you have written a letter to secretary for meeting. I said, I withdraw my letter. I don't know how much fees I will have to pay for personal hearing. I have to come from Gurgaon if they need any 10, 20,000 rupees for personal hearing. I don't want to pay money. And I said, I withdraw my letter regarding personal thing. There's no point in any personal because they're not going to listen. They're very experienced people. They're all secretary levels. Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. They're all very experienced people, and they won't let anybody else to interfere. And I think they are justified in this decision. And I think it will be futile exercise for me to go and jump into this exercise when they will not listen to me. Say this committee is very high level. Why you have any complaint? I say I have no complaint. I only want that there be judicial inquiry, which you don't want it. So let's close the chapter. I don't want to say anything in this inquiry. What can you do?
Mr. Panesar, when we look at the fine-tuning of the draft, we understand that through this draft, the rules aim to give authorities the power to take the prompt action against the buildings and the structures or the trees that exceed the height limits in designated aerodrome zones. This is being seen at this point of time as a proactive step, and also to prevent any kind of obstructions in the flight paths. Do you think this also speaks of the many flaws that so far have been ignored and taken casually earlier, but now that we also have many incidents of the flight reporting serious obstruction, technical difficulties after the Air India crash has happened, the spotlight has put on making the entire aviation process even more transparent, accountable, and with guarded by the safety protocols?
See, when the high-level committee is formed, they don't want to listen to experts. They don't want to have a public investigation. What can you do? Is better to stay away. जिसका है नहीं कोई चारा बजाएगा let them investigate. They are expert people, very, very high-level committee, higher than Mount Everest. Now what can you do? I have applied for personal hearing and Deputy Secretary rang me about half an hour ago. Why you want to talk? You have no faith. I say, I have full faith in the judiciary, in this bureaucracy. In the past, bureaucracy has done many investigations on that, which is visible to everybody how they investigate. No, ये सारा मलबा जो पायलट मर गया उसके ऊपर डाल देंगे क्योंकि as you agree, dead people do not come out. They will not be able to speak what has happened. They can say anything now. And it will not be challengeable, and we should unnecessarily interfere in their investigation. It will be a futile exercise to interfere in all that. Let them investigate. We'll wait for the investigation report by these experts. Then only you can comment on this. They will not permit us to do that. And the government of India has no faith in judiciary. They won't let the judiciary to intervene for a judicial inquiry. Now, what can if the judiciary has no power, then how Captain Panesar has the power to go and put his head into the scam? It's a very sad thing, but let's see what happens now.
Sir, the investigation is another part of how we look at the entire incident, and apart from that, what we also need to understand at the same time is that there are flaws that have been ignored. The judicial inquiry is something that is the later part of it, but if we have to speak about the current state of this very draft, do you think that there is going to be any sort of an impact that reduces such kind of obstructions and makes a positive change into ensuring that now the trust of the flyers that has been completely damaged and also broken after this very incident, which completely is of concern, that is going to be also restored?
Well, this is just going to be a cover-up operation, and no concrete result will come out. They'll blame the pilot and say bye-bye. This is the result of the investigation. That's all. No person has the guts to come forward against the ministry or this investigation team against the government. They will finish him whoever comes forward. That's a very, very high level committee. How do you expect to jam this committee? They won't allow you to enter the committee report. They are not permitting judiciary to continue judicial inquiry. Then how a normal person will go and join them? Why should I break my head with them? May God bless our country, because we have experts to find out the reasons and all. They will come out with the truth. But just got a call from secretary. He said, why you want to meet him? When I told you, he said, no, committee is very powerful. They know everything. Why you want to meet the committee? He said, secretary will not meet you. I said, okay, fine. I don't want to meet him also. If he calls me, I won't like to go there. Why should I join myself, break my head? Because we don't want to know the truth. What is the truth of the whole case? Pilots are today panicky. They don't want to take any chance. Their diversion, any snack coming, minor snack in the flight, they divert the flights. What can you do in such a case?
Mr. Panesar, if we also understand about the series of events, what according to you are the lessons that our Civil Aviation Ministry and the officials involved into the SOPs management must take prima facie of this very horrific incident that has also brought a lot of grief accompanied by shame to India?
They have no guts, they have no experience, they have no expertise. They have never flown any aircraft, and they are going to give this bogus investigation. So in this investigation, why should you interfere? जो इंटरफियर करेंगे तो उसको भस्म कर देंगे, कमेटी भस्म कर देगी उसको. इतनी पावर है इनके पास. वेरी वेरी पावरफुल कमेटी. मैं अपने आप को क्यों भस्म कराऊं? Very sad, very sad.
All right, Mr. Panesar, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast and in